Welcome to LPB Racing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we hope you enjoy the content that you're about to see. LPB GT3 Sprint Series Round 4 Race 3 from Watkins Glen, USA. Hi everyone, and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB GT3 Sprint Series on Project Cars 2. This is race 3 from Watkins Glen, which is round 4 of our championship here, and we're going to take you through the grid here for race 3. So let's hope it's just as exciting as the other two races. And here we go. It's Bidster on pole position this time. So Bidster on pole in the orange car there, with his teammate Scott right behind him there. So Scott right behind him. Neil Farmack is in 3rd position there. And then it is T.Y. in 4th in the Renault. Then it's Bert 5th in the McLaren. Bit of a gap towards Blake. Looks like he's been a bit caught out near the start. 6th place for him. Tim is in 7th as we just go under the bridge. Oh, we're trying to go under the bridge, but we can't. Here we are. So Tim 7th. Darren 8th. Got Passion 9th. Woo Woo there in 10th in the Acura. And Nifty Dart Ninja at the back in 11th place in the Renault. So let's get on with the race then. Here we go, getting ready for the off here at Watkins Glen. Revs rise, lights out, away we go, down towards the bottom of the hill. Bidster's taking the lead, and we've got a few cars looking for a way through. Looks like Tim and Blake are quite close together as you look at the mid-pack. Tim around the outside, Blake trying to go to the inside, no way through for him. Darren gets a good run on Blake as well, trying to look through. But unfortunately for Darren in this one, he sort of disconnected out of the room, and then he came back in, but for some reason he'd picked his car, but it had not actually put it in the car he needed to. So Darren should be in a McLaren, that rhymes, and then he's in a Acura now. Woo Woo and all the rest down the straight, very much side by side. There's contact, Darren and Woo Woo into the corner. How did they survive that? Oh, there's car spun as well. Bang, 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 argy bargy, and Bert's gone wide as well. And we've got a car off further back. I think that's Scott who's gone off further back as well, and T.Y. So that was the Scott's been off in the McLaren. T.Y. was the Renault that we saw off the track. So not a good start for them at all. There's been an incident there somewhere, but Bidster's already pulled out a 3.5 second lead. So yeah, that contact must have happened from the front runners. As down the bottom of the hill we've got the cameras are awful around here. There's 2 zoomed in. Whoa, Woo Woo, and Woo Woo, Neil and Bert all together, 3 wide and contact, and Neil gets picking in the middle, I think, and they're all still hitting each other up to the top of the hill. It's like touring car racing. Up to the top of the hill, Darren's on the inside of Neil Farmack on the inside. We've got Woo Woo trying to go follow through on Nifty Dart Ninja, and he gets through. The 2 teammates side by side in the Acuras, and Darren in the Acura. In this one he's supposed to be in a McLaren, but accidentally got the wrong car and everything, but never mind, he's got to get used to the new car quickly, but looks like he's enjoying that Acura. Down the inside of Blake, he's trying to get down the inside. Blake resists, though he doesn't quite get through. It's a little bit of a pack now, so there's a massive train behind Bert now, and everyone else is really close as Woo Woo goes to pass Darren. Woo Woo on the inside in the Acura. Blake comes across. Oh, he's hit Neil Farmack and goes off. It spins in the wall. Neil Farmack, the innocent victim to yet another incident. Neil Farmack goes off, windscreen, very much like you'd expect from contact like that. And Blake then spins round and goes into the wall. So there's definitely, I think there's more to that than what we saw there, but we'll get that in replays at the first half mark. So it is Bert from Woo Woo in 4th, 5th, Darren 6th, then everyone else trying to be 7th as we go down to the chicane. T.Y. goes into the chicane, and then we got Nifty following through, Scott trying to get through at the back. Oh, Nifty's lost it in the background. Nifty's lost it on the inside. He's not enjoying that Renault one bit. So not enjoying that Renault one bit at all, and Neil Farmack then closes up to someone to try and catch him, but Blake is right far back down in 11th place. So out of the bottom of the hill we've got Darren and I think that's T.Y. behind him. Darren and T.Y. looking like they're having a little bit of a battle here up to the I think either T.Y. was in there very hot, or Darren was early on the brakes. I think T.Y. went in a bit hot there and just got it carried away, went wide, lost the speed up the hill now, and he's now behind Darren. Into the corner we go. That's the default livery for the NSX, because it's for some reason he came into the room and tried picking his car, but I think the session started before he got a chance to do it. So at least he's in a decent enough car. He's not that's not going to be suited for the track at least. So, but he has got a bit of a disadvantage with trying to get used to the car. So very quickly, without no testing. So let's have a look further back. Nifty Dark Ninja's got Neil Farmack 1.5 seconds behind him, so Nifty's not really on the pace in this one. He's had just made a little mistake on that other lap, and very, very twitchy out the last corner. Not enjoying that Renault one bit, I don't think. I think it was a bit of a poor choice for this one by that team, but hopefully we'll come fighting back next time at the special event. Here's Bidster in the lead. Bidster in the orange car in the lead, 143.5. Tim is second. There's Bidster through the chicane, very nicely through there. And Tim, who's giving chase as well. Epic lines through there from both drivers. And Tim is pushing to try and catch Bidster now. Pash is trying to stay with these boys as well. So it's a good little. It's not really a close race up front, but it's going to be good to watch the times and try and look how close that they actually do get. Meanwhile, Darren has got TY right up his back bumper now. So TY is right on the back of Darren here, into the left-hander that goes downhill. A lot of people have been caught out here in this one because it's quite a lot of camber on the way into the corner, but then it goes adverse camber on the way out, and you see the cars twitching out of the corner there. The camber goes off the opposite way to the turn, and it makes the car sort of roll over to the right on the way out, which is not what you want. And then this corner, camber in and get a good run up the hill, which is what TY is doing. He's got a good run. He's alongside Darren. I think he's through on the inside. He's just going to try and get into the braking zone and be brave, and he has been. TY goes through into 6th place. Darren down to 7th, but he's fighting back. But TY's got the inside line for the left-hander. He'll not get through there, and TY will keep the line nice and tight. And Scott will have a little sniff at the back of the Acura. So Scott is in this, and Lag not looking as bad in this race as it was in the others. So it looks like it's settled down a bit. But he has got a plan for next week to try and sort his internet out. So that's good. But we'll see how he gets on. So Scott then goes through the last corner right on the back of Darren, trying to have a go. He's got a good run, but he's got to see if he can. Now I think the Acura got some good torque out the corner there and pulled ahead a little bit. Into the first corner we go. Darren runs wide. Scott gets a good run out the corner now. Scott gets a very good run. He's alongside him, side by side up the hill, trying to poke his nose in there. Darren leaves him space, but Scott goes on the grass. Oh, so close to contact there. Scott's still on the inside. He's still keeping his nose in there. He's over the curb, over the lot. He's not giving up. Side bang again. Mirror to mirror stuff. It's like watching Senna and Mansell at Barcelona. Incredible. As we go down to the chicane, Scott doesn't give up, and Darren turned in. One of the cars had to fold there, and neither driver was going to fold on that one. And Scott does lets Darren go, but yeah, they needed to decide one of them to go ahead into the corner. So and then they both thought, no, I'm first, and then that happened. So not good for them. So Scott goes off the track. Scott runs it in too deep and goes off the track into the grass. So that's done him in that battle for now. And now that gives Neil Farmack someone to chase, because Neil Farmack's back in this 145.2 last time round. So decent lap from there from Neil. Not the best of laps, but decent, as he's on the inside now, trying to get close up to the back of Scott. Meanwhile, further ahead, we've got Bert and Woo Woo quite close as well. This is a battle that we need to have a look at as well, because Bert and Woo Woo are having a good battle. So Bert and Woo. Bert in the McLaren, and Woo Woo in the Acura. And down to the last few corners. Oh, in the background there, that's TY having a little coming together with the wall. As through the left-hander, Bert gets a lot of curb there. Woo Woo will close up. He'll get a better run into this corner, and maybe a better run out as well. I think he does actually. He gets a good run out of the corner, but he's not going to be close enough. So we're just on to lap 5 now. We're just under half distance, but we'll have a look at the first half of the race replays now. Here's the replays of the first half of the race. Okay, here's the first replay then. We're looking at Neil, Scott and TY into the chicane. Watch this. Scott turns in, hits Neil Farmack, spins himself around. TY breaks and everyone does slows down. Then there's a concertina effect. One of the McLarens hits the back of TY and then knocks him off. And then Neil Farmack keeps going. And we'll keep watching Neil Farmack here. Watch him and Blake into here. Watch the red McLaren. Into the corner we go, and watch this. Blake's late on the brakes. Bang! Hits the back of Neil Farmack and then takes him straight off into the wall. And then everyone else really gets close and Constantina's up, and we'll just watch down to the bottom of the hill here as we all get scrapped for positions. Everyone's trying to get past everyone. Up the inside goes Darren, and then Woo Woo and Bert come along and then absolutely get sandwiched in the middle. Neil Farmack becomes the filling in of sandwich, and down and then up the hill we go, and there's more contact as everyone sort of sorts themselves out. Absolutely manic. You'd think the race were only 1 lap long. But Darren goes through on the inside, and then we'll get a replay on what happened up the hill later on. And now here's another replay of that, now on board with TY. Let's watch what happened here. Watch, nearly goes for the overtake on the inside, but he's not really alongside enough. Scott turns in, doesn't realise he's there, and then there's contact between the two. TY gets hit from behind, so all the cars trying to slow down, and that puts him at the back of the grid. But we'll get another view on that incident just now. Okay, here's another replay of that incident then, but we are going to slow things down here. Right, we're going to slow things down. So watch here, we go into the corner. We're into the corner down here, so Neil's on the straight, we are pulling out to overtake, and we are on the inside. Now, Neil Farmack, he's not actually alongside enough to get this position, but as we go onto the brakes here, Scott's moving across already to take the corner, not realised that he's there, and there's contact between the two, so Neil Farmack wasn't close enough to actually get, he wasn't alongside enough to actually make the move stick, but also Scott should have been more aware and looked in his mirrors before turning in anyway, and then obviously there was the contact with TY. TY ends up spinning, Scott goes off backwards, and then everyone else starts to come through. You see Bert there on the inside, he was the one that I couldn't avoid hitting TY, and then everything gets close as you go down the hill. And now here's an onboard view of the Blake and Neil incident. So watch, here we go into the corner, and bang, Blake just brakes way too late, hits him, and then he's thinking about letting him back through at this point, but he can't really because he's got an absolute monster gaggle of cars behind him to try and sort things out. So he tries to let him go on the inside into here, but Darren puts paid to that because he goes on the inside of him, and then everyone else gets very close. There's 3 wide, and then we go up the hill. And now here's a replay on board with Blake again, so we're going down to the straight. Watch, we're actually going to try and let him go through here. Then we move towards the wall, there's a glitch, and then it sort of moves him across to the left. And that wasn't intentional of Blake. I've watched all the in-car footage as well, and that was not to do with Blake. It was a glitch in the game that made him bounce off the wall. And who does he hit? But no one except Mr. Neil Farmack. And now we're on board with Neil Farmack to have a look at what happened between him and Blake as well. So he's already really annoyed at this point of what happened on the first lap, and you can't blame him. And onto the straight. Blake then hits that glitch, comes across, and Neil Farmack cannot believe his luck. This man, he cannot catch a break, and my God, whoever's writing this script is pure evil. Okay, here's a replay with Scott and Darren then on board with Scott in the McLaren, so we're side by side with Darren. Oh my word, that was close as we go up the hill, and then see Scott was over the curb here trying to get as much to the inside as he can, and then it almost makes him hit Darren again because the curb just chucked him off. And now down to the chicane. This is where none of them want to give up their position as we slow it down into the chicane. You see here we slow it down, Darren's turning in because he thinks he's ahead enough, Scott's still alongside, and at this point really Scott should have actually given up the corner because Darren was ahead. He was actually ahead. Scott was not alongside enough to make that move stick unless he was actually going to have it gifted by Darren. So if for future reference there, Scott should really have let that one go. But now we just go back to racing speed, but then he actually does back off and let Darren go. And now back to the race. As we come back from that then, there's Scott, and he's got Neil Farmack behind him now. He's got Nifty as well. Is that Nifty as well? Yes, it is Nifty as well. Closing up to the back of this bunch. Oh, T-Y's off! T-Y's off at the first corner. He's gone round, he's in the wall. He's got to get the car turned round. Blake goes through, and T-Y is now at the back of the field. That is not good, and we'll get a replay on that at the end of the race for you now, because we've just had the first half of the race replays. So Bert then through in 4th place. He's still got Woo Woo on the back of him, so Woo trying to close up to the back of Bert. Trying to close up, should I say, as Pash is actually closing up on Tim, so Tim's losing ground to Bidster, but Pash is gaining ground on Tim. So Tim's last lap was a 1:44.3, still a very good lap, but Pash and Bidster are in the 43s, so they are really pushing hard, and Bidster's still pushing hard to keep the gap up front, and Tim has got Pash catching him up in the silver McLaren there. So his teammate is actually Darren, but he's in a Acura in this one, so obviously as I explained earlier. So a bit of a conundrum there for that team, but here we go up the hill, and it's Nifty Dark Ninja in front of Scott now. So Nifty Dark Ninja moves up a place, Scott goes down to 9th, Nifty moves up to 8th. So he's slowly catching up in that Renault, but I don't think he's had very much luck in the first half of the race, and we'll have to see if he can come back. Scott goes very early over to the line, and out the corner we go, and Nifty Dark Ninja pulls ahead in the Renault a little bit there, and down to the next corner we go. Darren is in 6th place. He's leaving Neil Farmer behind now, and he's trying to get Woo Woo in 5th. But Woo Woo is on the back of Bert, still 2 tenths is the gap. This is the battle of the race to watch, and Woo Woo gets a good run at the last corner, at the first corner. Can he get alongside? No, he can't get alongside, and Bert holds on, but now it's a drafting game down to the chicane at the end. But now you've got to try and get through and get alongside enough to get through, not like what we saw earlier in the first half of the race replays. But he's having a little look, but he's just having a look, but he made Bert defend into the corner. That'll make him slow on the way out, and Woo Woo, he still can't close up enough because that McLaren's brilliant on the grip through that chicane. And now Woo Woo tries to close up to the back of the McLaren through the long sweeping right-hander, down the hill into the left, braking hard. The car wanting to go straight on, but you know, you've got to try and make it turn, force it into the corner, and out the corner we go. Woo Woo gets alongside on the left. No, he doesn't. He just puts back in. I thought he was trying to, but Bert's defending very well here. Very good racing between these two. Class of the field so far. As you go up the hill, we'll just have a quick look back, and you've got Nifty Dark Ninja and Scott still having a nice battle for 8th and 9th positions into the same corner that they were going into. And Scott makes a mistake on the inside, loses a lot of ground there, and that might help. That'll help Blake close up. Back to Bert and Woo Woo, and it's still Bert defending the inside from Woo Woo, so he's still ahead, but Woo Woo is really putting the pressure on now. So Woo versus Bert, and Woo looking for a way through. Outside line's not going to cut it. He's going to try and do a cut back and get a good run onto the straight. Bert's defending now, but he moves back across for his line because he knows he's got time to do it, but he runs wide in the process. Moved across a bit too late, compromised his line. Woo Woo tries to get alongside him, can't do it. Over the line, onto lap 7. On to the inside goes Woo Woo, trying to go down the inside. No, looks back again. He's really pressuring the back of Bert here. Bert's got a lot of pressure to absorb here. Woo Woo really putting the pressure on. Incredible stuff here as he gets alongside, sticks his nose in. Bert just about gives him enough room side by side up the hill. This is not going to end well. Oh my word! Oh, it does end well for Woo Woo because he gets ahead. So Woo Woo keeps his foot in it. Looks like Bert lifted there, and Woo Woo gets the place into 4th in the Acura. So the Acura moves up to 4th. McLaren down to 5th through the chicane. Now, the Acura looking very steady around here. Looks like it were a good car choice for around here. So is McLaren as well, as the mass choice by most people in this one, but the Acura looking like it was a solid choice as well. Neil Farmack is 7th. He's closing up on Darren. He's trying to do what he can, but the car does look rather second hand, but luckily that's cosmetic damage. Thank God, says Neil Farmack. But into the corner, then we've got Scott there with 9th, Nifty's 8th, just ahead of him. And then we've got Blakeney in 10th, TY trying to close up in 11th place now. 145.3, so that's sort of mid-pack pace. So TY looking like he's catching up rather well here, because Scott and Blake last time round did 46s. So TY the man with the pace at the moment. But meanwhile up front, Bidstone of 44.0. Tim 4.7 seconds behind him as we cross the line this time. Let's watch the lap times. 1:44.2 for Bidstone, good average in there. Tim, let's see if he goes faster this time. Is he catching him? 44.4. No, he's not. But Pash is not catching him either because it's 44.8. So still in the 44s for the top 3. But everyone else down in the 46s because they're battling. Woo Woo is ahead of Bert now, as we saw before. Across the line, 45.4, 45.6 for Bert. Darren, onto the straight. Neil Farmack trying in the process of trying to catch up to Darren, hits the wall on the exit of the last corner and loses probably a few tenths of a second, but I'm sure he'll gain that back because he's on a charge here. Neil Farmack, he's really working hard in this race. As we go up the hill, look back at Scott, he's in 9th place, Bidster's teammate, and Blake then there he is in 10th place, just behind. Unfortunately his teammate Will couldn't make this one, but hopefully Will make the next week's race at the special event. Round 4 special event next week, so it's going to be double points on offer for one race. So each driver's got to pick one race that they want to receive double points in, and then that will be added onto that race. But it's only one race out of the 3, and we've got 3 races on 3 different tracks. We're doing the same thing with the cars. We've got to use one car for all 3 races, so you've got to pick a car that suits all 3 tracks next week. So that's going to be a bit of a unique one, and we'll see what a lot of people go for. I would imagine there'll be a lot of mix in choice. The only giveaway I'm going to give you is the fact that they are quite fast average speed tracks, so that gives you an idea to what they could be. But still, that's could be most circuits on this game. But Nifty Dark Ninja is in 8th. Back to the racing action. It's Nifty in 8th. Scott in 9th. They are still quite close together. Scott, I dare say, is actually catching Nifty Dark Ninja now. He's starting to get his head in the game. But TY is approaching the back of Blake as well. TY's just put in a 44.4. That is the same lap time as the leaders. So TY is on it. Even though he's hit the wall in the background, he's still pushing hard. But doesn't look like he can be quite as consistent in that Renault. So good job on him for covering, but as of next week, guys, in the races, there will be no more covering for teams. If someone doesn't turn up for the teammate, as a teammate, if they don't turn up, then that team will only get the points that of the cars that turn up. So, like Blake running on his own here, he would actually only get the points that he gets going towards the teams. So there would be no sort of double point add-on or whatever. So, saves confusion, and it saves us having to find people at the last minute to try and replace, or if we do find someone, they can just run as an independent. That'll go for the same for GT Sport as well, as we go down to the end of the straight with Darren, with Neil Farmack finally within range to have a go at Darren as he makes a little mistake through the corner. See the opposite lock get put on there by the white Acura of Darren. He should be in a McLaren, but he's in an Acura. If you want to know what happened to him, rewind this coverage and have a look what I said earlier on. But yeah, Darren should be in a McLaren, but he's in a Acura, and he's got the other Acura of Neil Farmack, who's had a lot more practice in that car. Right up his bumper now, and trying to look for a way through down the bottom of the hill. Meanwhile, we've got Scott and Ninja quite close together as well. Still very close together, 0.3 of a second. You can see the gap, very close indeed. Back to Darren and Neil then, up to the top of the hill. Darren's still got enough room ahead to try and doesn't even have to defend into the corner. He's got enough room as it is, and slides the car out. No way through there. Nifty Dark Ninja in the background. Let's see if he's succumbed to Scott yet. No, he's not. He is still in 8th place with Scott in 9th. TY is actually closing on to the back of Blake here. So TY's finally on the back of Blake. Catching up's one thing though, passing is quite another, as Blake runs a bit wide out the corner and has to cut back to his line on the way out, and that loses him time, but also that loses TY time because he couldn't find a way around him. So we're approaching 2 laps to go. Bids is already on 2 laps to go, and he's just done a 1:43.7. That's the fastest lap of the race so far for Bids. And he's just, even though he's in the lead, he's still pushing hard, which I suppose you need to do, because if you don't push hard and you sort of relax a bit, that's when mistakes can be made. So it's all a gamble. As I think Scott has got past Nifty Dark Ninja. Oh no, Nifty Dark Ninja's gone round. He's off at the first corner. He's gone round. He's recovering there, but Nifty Dark Ninja then goes off and off track. We'll get that in a replay later on, but he's off and back down to 11th place. TY is now the leader in the Renault group, in the Renault cars. 10th place behind Blake, so not a good race for that team, this one. TY filling in for Growley, because Growley couldn't make this week because he's, well, he had a bit of a major problem. His steering wheel broke, so he couldn't really do anything. So unfortunately, Growley Bear not in this week, but hopefully back next week. As TY goes wide then and loses a lot of time to Blake there. Lots of time lost. Meanwhile, Darren and Neil are still at it. Neil Farmack still trying to find a way past Darren. I bet he wishes now Darren winning that McLaren, because he might be able to get past him, but Darren is doing very well in that Acura, and Neil Farmack right behind him, putting the pressure on, looking left, looking right, just trying to put the pressure on. Moves back for his line. Darren's defending into the corner. He will be slower out of the corner unless he can carry speed. Oh, which he does. Fantastic stuff there by Darren, but Neil's up the inside. He's looking at the inside. He's going for it. He's on the inside. Beautiful move there by Neil Farmack, and straight through, absolutely schooled. Brilliant stuff there by Neil. Good move, and he is now away in 6th place. Just took a little bit of bravery, a little bit late on the brakes, and there he goes through into 7th place. It's 6th place, sorry, and Darren down to 7th. So we're approaching the last lap of the race then. On to the last lap we go. It's Bidster from Tim, Pash in 3rd, Woo is 4th, Bert is 5th, Darren, then we got Neil 6th, Darren in 7th, Scott is 8th with Blakeney and TY quite close behind in 9th and 10th, and Nifty Dark Ninja's in 11th. Will that order stay the same towards the end of the race? We've got the next 1.5 minutes to have a look and see. Here we go. So Blake has pulled away from TY a bit there, so TY looking like he's just backed off a bit. He's made a mistake. He's not able to stay with the McLaren as we go up the hill. Meanwhile, further up front, we've got Pash is closer to Tim than he's ever been. So Tim 1:44.1 last time, Pash 1:43.8. Absolutely on point with the lap times there, Pash. And he did a really good last lap, but he's close. But can he get close enough to take second place? There's Bidster. He's out lead 5.5 seconds ahead of Tim and Pash, who are just coming through the corner now. There they go. There's Tim, and then Pash following him, trying to get up but close behind him, but I don't think he's going to be close enough unless Tim makes a mistake now. But Bidster is coming round the last couple of corners here. Bidster is going to take victory in race 3. So put some more points on the board for him in the championship. Bidster wins race 3 here at Watkins Glen. Fantastic win for him. Well done to Bidster. Good win by him. Tim is just going to hold on to second. Pash pushed him all the way, but Tim holds on to second and Pash is in third. Good one there by Pash, and he might have got the fastest lap there. We'll have to see at the end. Woo Woo then is going to come through in 4th. He's ahead of Bert now. Bert has gone down to 5th. Bert's gone down to 5th, and Woo Woo is in 4th. Woo Woo finishes 4th. Bert is going to be in 5th in the McLaren. Well done to him. Neil Farmack gets 6th place after the recovery of the first lap incidents. Then Darren is in 7th. Scott's going to hold on to 8th place. Blake's going to be 9th. 10th is TY, and Nifty Dark Ninja in the second Renault finishes in 11th. So we'll just now go and get those replays in for you of the second half, followed by the results and the overall points. Here's the replays of the second half of the race. Here's the first replay of the second half of the race then. TY into the turn 1 on lap 5. Up on the curb, round she goes. There's too much curb on the inside. Stops just before the wall. Reverses a little bit just so he can get some lock on to turn round. He's trying to just do it gently so that he doesn't get involved in anyone else. And then Blake comes past and then we get going again. But unlucky there for TY. Okay, here's a quick look at something that happened on lap 5. Nifty gets very close to the back of Scott into the corner. Then in the corner, see Scott's just on the curve on the inside, loses speed, and Nifty goes right round the outside of him, and Scott is left back in 9th place. Okay, here's a replay of how Nifty Dark Ninja went off, and it looks like it was an incident that was to do with contact, because Scott's alongside him, and then see him going down the hill. Watch here, Scott moves across, hits Nifty Dark Ninja, and then off the track goes Nifty. Scott moved across in the braking zone there and took Nifty off there, so that's not good by Scott. That could be punishable, we'll have to see. Okay, here's another look at that now on Bobby Scott. Now bear in mind he did have a lot of lag in this race, so he comes alongside down to the bottom, and see he moves across on Nifty there, trying to put the squeeze on him, and then just comes across and across, and then just there's contact between the two cars. There's no need for him to be that close really. They should have Scott could have used a lot more room on the right hand side, but we'll have to see what that one turns out like. That was the replays of the second half of the race, and now we go to the results. So here's the results then of the third race. Bidster wins. Well done to Bidster. He wins the race with Tim in second place, and just behind him is Pash in third. So good podium for him. Woo Woo just off the podium in 4th place, with Bert in 5th. We've got Neil Farmack in 6th place as we just go over the page, with Darren in 7th. We've got Scott in 8th place. Blake finishes in 9th. TY a disappointing 10th place, with Ninja in 11th place. So both Renaults not doing very well there in that last race here at Watkins Glen. And now we move on to the overall standings after round 4. It is Bidster in the lead of the championship on 197, with Neil Farmack on 169 in second place. 1 point behind him is Pash in third. We've got Woo Woo in 4th on 143, and a gap down to Bert on 113 in 5th. Tim up to 6th place already in the championship on 104 after 2 rounds. It's incredible. Then we've got Nifty Dark Ninja on 95 points in 7th. Blake on 94, 1 point behind him. Darren in 9th on 83. 76 for Intrepid in 10th. We've got Will on 68 in 11th, with Growley on 63. Twerdy 62, so very close between 11th and 13th there. TY on 29 points, and Scott on after his first round bagging 23 points. The teams then, Woolmack on 312 in the lead. Bidspid Woof now as it's called 296. 279 for Bert D Ski, and then Dash on 251. 187 apiece for Wilney and Growly Ninja. So then, there's your winner, Bidster in the orange McLaren there. Well done to Bidster. There, a good victory for him. And he is also leading the championship, as you saw there, on 197 points. So good stuff there from Bids. So, brilliant racing by all in that one. I know a few controversial incidents, but it was good racing. And if you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time for our special event, which I'm not going to release too much about, but all I'm going to say is it's a high average speed. So that's your clue. So we'll see you for that one, guys. Take care. That was race 3 from Watkins Glen. We hope you all enjoyed that one, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe to LPB Racing for more content in the future. And next time, everyone, it is going to be the GT3 Sprint Series Round 5 Race 1 from Hockenheim Classic. We'll see you at Hockenheim.